Is Canelo Alvarez ducking the smoke with Terence Crawford? I don't know. That's what a lot of people are saying. I personally don't think Canelo's like really ducking anybody. I think he's willing to fight anyone out there. Obviously, we really want to see Canelo against David Benavidez because that makes sense in terms of weight. But against a guy like Terence Crawford, they asked him in an interview when he was at his NYC presser for his fight with Jermell Charlo coming up on September 30th. That's going to be a great one. But they asked him about Terence Crawford and the possibility of fighting him, and he kind of like shut it down. He put it to rest and said, I fight at 60, 68, 75, more so 68 and 75. So he's saying like the fight doesn't really make sense for him, and people wouldn't give him credit for beating a guy like Terence Crawford, and he's not willing to go down to, they were talking about 156, 158 pound catch weight, and Canelo said he wasn't like willing to, go down that much, and that they wouldn't give Canelo any credit if he beats a guy like Terence Crawford. And I extremely beg to differ, because you beat the #1 guy on the planet. I feel like Terence Crawford is the #1 boxer on the planet right now, active, and I think that he's better than Canelo at this moment. And I agree with Shakur Stevenson. Even Shakur Stevenson said that he picks Terence Crawford to beat Canelo, and I would agree. I think that stylistically, styles make fights. We know that, but against a guy like Canelo, Terence Crawford would be too quick for him, and he has a lot of tools that Canelo at his age and where he is at in inside of his career, like I feel like he's not going to be able to keep up with a guy like Terence Crawford. I know they're not like that far off in age, but Terence is already 35. I still think he's as fast as we've ever seen him, and as opposed to Terence, Canelo hasn't had the best performances, and we've seen him kind of be on the back end of his career for sure. Maybe this 3-fight deal with Al Heyman and PBC is gonna enlighten him and light a new fire for him to stay motivated and look like his old self, because in his last few performances he has shown that he's not as young as he used to be, obviously, and the gas tank isn't the same, the endurance isn't the same, and he hasn't been able to keep that same pace throughout the 12-round duration. And I think that against Terence Crawford, Terence would have his way with Canelo and eventually beat him in a unanimous decision. I don't think he stops Canelo, but who am I to... I'm honestly done doubting Terence Crawford at this point, because I picked Errol Spence to stop Terence Crawford, and look what happened. The polar opposite took place. So man, Terence Crawford's a bad boy, Canelo's a bad boy, but I think Terence is the better fighter, and I think he's going to go down as greater than Canelo and the more talented fighter than Canelo. But it's just like those guys like Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, where I think I kind of draw the line for Terence Crawford. I think those guys are going to go down as greater, but I'm still very impressed with everything Terence Crawford has accomplished, and I think that fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, that's fighting Canelo, who was the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world not too long ago. I think if they go at it, why would you not want to beat Terence Crawford if you think you can do it, if you're Canelo? So I'm not saying he's ducking, but I think that's a tremendous fight, and I feel like if he doesn't take it, if it's at 160 pounds, I think that's reasonable for Canelo. I think he could cut that weight and make it down. I think it wouldn't hurt for him to even maintain fighting at 160 for his body, his physique. I think he'd be faster at that weight. I think 68 and 75, it's given him some extra weight that probably takes more muscle mass, requires more oxygen to perform. So I feel like if Canelo were to fight at 160, he'd actually look a little bit faster. Maybe he wouldn't fatigue as much, but that all comes down to how bad the weight cut would be for him. I think he'd be fine. You think Canelo walks around at like 180 maybe? It's possible. He's a muscular dude, but still only like around 5'8", 5'8 and a half. So I feel like going to 160 at his height, I think it's manageable, and I think him and Terence Crawford would put on a hell of a show for boxing fans. I just think it's a matter of time. If you're willing to fight a guy like Jermell Charlo, like no one saw that coming. We thought it would be his brother, but to fight a 54 champ, and Terence Crawford's basically a 54 champ, I think 160 is not out of the question at all. I think that's a major fight for Canelo and Terence Crawford. I think Terence would take that fight against Canelo, even though he said like he doesn't necessarily have intentions for going for him. He's more set on Jermell, but if you beat Jermell and then you go fight Canelo if you're Terence Crawford, why not? Like, I feel like that's a lot of money fights, and then after that, that's it. You call it quits. You retire. Imagine you beat Canelo Alvarez and then you retire on that note. Terence Crawford would have a case for the best fighter that we've seen in the past decade. He's already in that territory. Like, he's basically that guy already. I just think that it would solidify him, and like, obviously you beat Canelo. It's a huge name. It'd be the biggest name on his resume, I think, alongside Earl Spence. Why is the camera not focusing? Hold on. Let me fix this. Okay, it's focusing now. But yeah, I think Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is a mega fight. I think that's a big money fight that I don't think either guy should turn that fight down if they're thinking about finances. But it comes down to whether or not Canelo Alvarez wants it. I think Terence would be willing to, because he knows that's a big fight. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think that Canelo Alvarez is ducking Terence Crawford? I don't think he's ducking him. I think that he knows it's a dangerous fight, though. I think he knows that. But let me know in the comments, is Canelo Alvarez ducking Terence Bud Crawford, or is it just, talk? But let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
That's going to do it for another Naz Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.